Hello guys, Dan here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about expensive motherboards and typically why in my eyes it don't make much sense. Now I'm just going to put it out there, I have a £36 motherboard. Yeah, that's right, I'll admit it, and a lot of people will be like, oh Dan, why do you have a £36 motherboard? Why? Just why? Now I have an i5 in the machine and also a GTX 770, so to be honest, it's to some people will be classed as a very high-end gaming system. Now quite frankly, I believe a motherboard will never ever make a difference in games, so I thought, you know, why not just go for the cheap one? Now as much as people say, why did you do that? I wanted, at the time, when I bought all the kind of components for my system, I wanted the best kind of gaming performance I could get. And a motherboard doesn't affect the gaming performance. Now just before I go on to say why motherboards are actually better, and yes, you do get a lot more features like more RAM slots, etc. But just going to put this on the screen, this was a benchmark that Linus did from Linus Tech Tips YouTube channel. And as you can see in here, look, he was comparing the most expensive motherboard he could get his hands on versus the cheapest motherboard he can get his hands on. Fair enough, so the same chipset, same kind of CPU socket and everything like that. But as you can see, look, there's no difference in frame rate. Look, there's maybe 1 or 2 frames, but that's a margin of error within the testing procedure. As you can see, look, there's no real difference, and this is exactly why I went for a cheap motherboard, and that's kind of why I advise a lot of people not to get high-end motherboards. I would typically recommend low to medium-end motherboards, not high-end ones whatsoever. Fair enough, if you're wanting to do something like SLI or Crossfire, or have kind of like multiple CPUs in your motherboard, yes, you've then probably got to get a high-end one, but I'm just saying, in the typical scenario, and also in my scenario, a low-end motherboard is absolutely fine. Now my GTX 770 can spread its wings with that motherboard, it's fine. A motherboard is just motherboard, it doesn't affect performance in any type of way. Now yes, they are good things to having an expensive motherboard, and I will say that, you know, these a lot, to be honest. There's a lot of good reasons to actually get an expensive motherboard. So number one, you're going to have more RAM slots, and chances are a high-end motherboard is going to accept higher frequency RAM and also a higher capacity of RAM. Now, as well as this, yeah, chances are you're going to get more kind of outputs. You're going to get a lot more USB 3s and USB 2s, and chances are you're going to get premium audio like 7.1 surround sound or something fancy like that. Now, as well as this, yeah, you're probably going to get more PCI Express expansion slots, probably 2, 3 or even 4, so you can do SLI or Crossfire. That's kind of a big thing for people wanting to upgrade. And also, as well as this, yeah, you probably get some PCI Express ones, and a main thing to some people is that you're going to get a lot of SATA connectors, so you're going to get a lot of ports, preferably they're going to be 6 gigabit as well, so you're going to be able to connect multiple SSDs or a lot of hard drives or whatnot. As well as this motherboard, a high-end motherboard will probably have Wi-Fi. I know mine don't, but yet again it does cost £36. Now, one last thing I don't want to mention, high-end motherboards, they will probably have a higher-end kind of gigabit LAN port. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you've got to get an Intel kind of, you know, NIC. And to be honest, a lot of people do rate the Intel NICs for being good. Mine has a Realtek NIC, I think, but nevertheless, I will say I do use Wi-Fi in my machine. I use a TP-Link dual-band 450 megabit adapter. So, apart from the features, the only real thing I can say is that a high-end motherboard just looks a little bit better, and yeah, it's probably not blue like mine is, but for someone like myself, I'm not that fussed, and yeah, since my case that I've currently got is red, and my actual graphic card faces outside the window, because the motherboard's kind of mounted horizontally, which in most cases, you know, it isn't. Now I will say I ain't that fussed, which you can't really see my motherboard, and to be honest guys, my system games, so all I can kind of conclude from this video is that don't get a high-end motherboard unless you're doing something fancy like SLI, because quite frankly you are not going to get more frames because of it. And as you can see with the benchmark I did refer to, that Linus Sebastian did from Linus Tech Tips, I will say that yeah, don't get a high-end motherboard. It's absolutely useless unless you just need some of the features that the high-end motherboards have, like lots of USB 3s, lots of PCI Express times 16 slots, or even lots of SATA ports, you know, whatever. So guys, thank you for watching. Please feel free to like, comment and also subscribe. And yeah, if you do have any questions or want to kind of, you know, just chat it in the comments about this, because I know this is typically a topic that a lot of you guys are like, whoa, surprised you said that, or something like that, you know, just put some comments in the bottom, I'll get back to you. And yeah, I want to see what you guys think, because this is kind of a topic that a lot of people can shall I say, argue about. Yeah, similar to like an AMD versus Intel type of scenario, but you get what I mean. Anyway guys, yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.